So you can probably tell that I'm sick, and it's Morgan, by the way. And I usually edit these discussion videos and I try to add like photos so as you're watching them, you can kind of like see what we're talking about. But I don't really feel good, and I also it's going to be like 10 hours if I do stuff like that since I have to edit so many of these videos. So I'm just going to be doing the boring like posters of this drama, and then hopefully next week when we're all caught up because stuff happened, then I can start kind of editing it the way I do my other discussion videos. But I hope you guys still enjoyed this discussion video. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna go take some medicine and go to bed. Bye.
Oh, we could do like the double mint song that we did when we first met. What was it? It's like double
No.
your flavor, double your double mint, double mint, gun, gum, not gun. And then like for drama Juicy, it should be like double your black hole into the K drama hole, double your K drama expectations of boys, double your last time you would have because you watch too many dramas. It's double fun, drama, Juseyo.
My God. No.
I
I
nailed
think you've
it.
had too much cold medicine.
I
Had
did.
too much cold medicine.
Um, Hi guys, welcome back to another discussion video where we're gonna be talking about episode 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you can't notice, I'm just a tiny bit sick.
Okay. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to Java Juseyo. Morgan is sick AF, so I'm gonna be doing a lot more talking than she is because she's going to be dying in the background.
Pretty
So I
much.
apologize if it's not as much fun as it usually is listening to Morgan because I'm kind of gonna be sort of running the show ish, um, because she sounds like a dying seal, essentially,
Pretty
with a crap
much.
ton of popsicles that she's eating. So today we are going to be talking about episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8 of Ruler of the Mask. I almost said Drama Juseo because we were having a conversation before this all started.
Don't worry, it's
So
all
basically,
recorded.
just was your singing recorded?
Yeah, of course. Everyone has to like witness her beautiful voice. Be like, wow,
Oh my gosh.
that girl should be like a like idol or something. No, not an idol, obviously, because I'm not Korean,
She's the
but
next
like,
like IU or something, whatever.
yeah, pretty much.
She's gonna be the next like
Eh,
Mariah Carey.
Yep, of course, I can totally get up there.
Yeah. 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 So basically, where we're left off right now, episode 5, we end up the prince's so we got prince son, peasant son, and his bodyguard person. I can't remember what his name is.
Chung Moon.
Chung Chung Woo.
Yeah,
So they're all kind of like captured, I guess is not really the best term. They're kind of surrounded by like tons of people with bows and arrows and swords and nets and stuff. And basically it's like a you're basically dead at this point kind of situation. But it's a K drama, so everybody knows how to sword fight apparently, except Peasant's son, who's like a cowering little kitty cat in the corner. Like, don't hurt me. Um
adorableness.
and so the he is adorable. So Chung-woon ends up like deflecting every possible bow and arrow, whatever arrow coming at him, and then I guess Prince Sun has had sword lessons, even though he's lived a sheltered life. Who saw that one coming? Um, and
I
they
mean,
end up having like this humongo fight
but it makes
going on.
sense. It
What?
makes sense for the prince to have sword lessons since he's gonna be the king. So it makes
Yeah,
sense for him to have it. But then again, if you think about it from
yeah, but
outsider
he has no
views,
background.
what?
He has no background in it. Like he's like, look at my greenhouse and all the flowers that I grow.
A
Like I
Hufflepuff.
don't know. He he is a Hufflepuff, but like we have no kind of basis for the fact that he's ever had like training ever to fight. It's kind of seemed like his father's sheltered him to the point of like him not having like any abilities whatsoever except to stay alive. So when he was like, "Bam! I have a sword and I'm going to kick all your butts," I was like, "Okay." I'm gonna have to suspend reality and guess that at some point he had sword lessons somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So, but
Also,
that was a fun scene.
yeah, also the fact that Gon saw that Peasant Son had the princess's jade,
Yep.
what was it called, the crest. And I was
And
like, at the time, because
yeah, the
obviously
crest.
we know later on what happens, but at the time I was like, oh god, that's gonna cause some confusion in the future. Because you see the crest,
Right?
you're like, you're the prince, and it makes sense because like you are gonna have a cover up. So wouldn't your cover up be someone else dressed up as a prince? But in reality, the prince is dressed up as the prince, and also Chungwoo gets mad and upset over the fact that the prince basically was fighting with him in a way, like that he saved Chungwoo, and Chungwoo was like, "Don't ever protect me again." Like all that
Yeah.
angst. Ugh.
The teen angst that is among all of this.
It's,
So the fight scene happens. They end up getting away, basically, to run off. And we end up, I guess, if I remember this correctly, I binged all 4 episodes today. So my brain is like, so many details, so little time. So we see the Daemok, I found out, is actually a title. It's not his name.
mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. You don't find that out till later, but Daemok and his granddaughter, I guess, were talking, and she wants to be the crown princess. Like, we get to visit that again.
Yeah,
Crazy lady.
I like the fact
She is
that
psychotic.
she is, but I like the fact that she basically tells him like, why don't we let the prince live? And Daemok basically says like, who's it? I'm gonna let the prince die. Um,
Right.
and like Haigun was like, Prince Son will raise to greatness, and then she like takes up the tea again, and she goes, "You say that the water is the people, and that the leaves are the king, and that we should hold the
Mm,
tea. But if the tea's not like the leaves aren't good, the tea isn't gonna be good." So her thing
mm,
is like, would it be good to have a tea, like to have basically she says basically to have him love her, have him by the side, to even where she like raises a tiger by her side where even a tiger won't bite her, kind of thing, like
mm.
where she's talking about like, I'll love him so much, he'll love me, that we won't fight, and that he'll be by my side and he'll be loyal. But Damon's like, why do that when the tiger will just eat you?
Right. But I kind of understood her reasoning. It was like she's aligning herself with power, and I think that would have probably been a better decision to kind of go forward with her now trying, because that would make her the second lead. We'd follow the K drama trope, but we'd actually like I guess would she'd have an end game in all of this instead of like I think she's kind of flailing around trying to find her footing as to where she fits in all this. She's trying to play every card she has all at once. And so I think it kind of makes her motives a little confusing outside of her affection for the prince,
Yeah, I
if that makes any
agree.
sense.
Yeah, I know it does. She fell for him really hard, like psychotic hard. Like she's gonna be at your window at night, be like, "What are you doing at the
Oh my
pin
God.
mark?" Like I will always remember that little pin mark that he got from her stabbing him with a little pin. By the way, how did he not feel that? I have no clue. And then afterwards, she's like, "I know it's you because I see the little dot on your neck," and you're just like, "Why? How?" Also, so Deputy Han and the guard, which we find out his name is Moonha, um,
Muha.
Muha, and
Muha.
Muhan. It's like Moonha, but they are
Oh.
no, that's the way I saw it though. I could be wrong. They are investigating the water, and they actually go to talk to this man who actually helped build the system, and he admits that the waterways were actually all directed towards their wells. So the wells that were dried up because of the fact that the Pusawang made it that way. So the
Hmm.
water wouldn't go to the like public wells; it would only go to their wells. Um, Before I hand it off to you, Sam, I just also want to mention that I like the fact that when peasant son and the prince son were walking back to the palace, and Prince was like, "You just need to talk to my dad. And once you talk to my dad, he'll fix things because my dad won't stand for this injustice that happened against your father." I love the fact that peasant son was like, "Why are you being so nice to me?" And the prince was like, "Because you're my first friend. Because first off, you've only known each other for a day, and you're friends, okay? You're best friends, okay?" And then, and he was like, "And you also gave a revenge for me." And I'm like, "Okay, so this is when friendship braces were traded. They are BFFs. They made matching ties or something. Yeah, they're best friends. That's all I have to say."
Right. So during that meeting, the Pyong Soo Hui, whatever, why did they have to give them long names? They had people over listening because apparently they're all like secret ninjas and they're everywhere. So essentially, this means bad news for everybody that's kind of involved. And I think it was this episode. They end up having a conversation with the king at the same time, or kind of getting flashback or flash of like things that are going on kind of simultaneously of them killing basically everybody. The extra Lee sons that they kind of had hanging around just in case. The person who they wanted to testify is now dead. I can't remember who the other person was. There was another person who ended up getting killed too, but they
That's the
said that
next
he was just going to end
episode.
up missing. That is the next episode.
Yeah.
Well, it's all one episode to me. I watched it
Well,
back to back to back to
the
back.
fake. So we had this fake prince that was
Yeah.
the one that was like mainly gonna be the fake prince, and he comes and he's poisoned, and uh, he basically comes to tell them that they have to arrest Deputy Deputy Han and Mooncha, and or else like the prince will get hurt, and then the guy dies in
Right.
front of the prince, and the prince is like traumatized because the prince is like he never expected this to happen. He always believed the good in the world, and then this is all happening, and it's like I can tell it's breaking his heart.
Right.
Um, but so basically, yeah, you're right. So they all come and they all like they also kill the man who was going to testify against Pisawan, the one who built the wells. That's the
Hmm.
other person. They're like, he's gonna commit suicide tonight, and it's just like it's scary how much, like how engraved these people are in the community. Like,
Hmm.
because my thought is like, well, you're the king. Why can't you wipe them out? But here's the thing: they're everywhere.
Right. And the king's kind of the pawn. He's not the king. He's just kind of he the in all in intents and purposes. It the Daemok of the Punk Su Hui. Say that 10 times fast. Oh my gosh. So the Daemok of the Pyong Su Hui is the king essentially. He's pulling all the strings. The king's just kind of a head who's just trying to protect his son because he knows the fate that like lies ahead if he goes through the giving his loyalty to these people who control the water.
Yeah. And then finally, uh, Wubu basically tells Deputy Han and Moonwa to stop investigating what's happening because it will only put them in danger. But they were like, well, the Crown Prince put us in charge, and like they have so much blind trust in the Crown Prince, which is really sad.
Hmm.
Because then later on, the king finally tells the prince about, what happened to his birth and why he has to wear a mask so he can finally not,
Right.
so he won't become a puppet to Pusawang. And this he says, the prince says, the king is chosen by gods to protect the people in their place. You taught me to become someone who always protects the people, but now you tell me that the unjust water brew was created because of me, and that breaks his heart. Completely
Hmm.
breaks his heart. And then, um, so on top of that, do you want to talk about what happens to Deputy Han and um, Moon, or what was his name, the soldier?
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So Deputy Han and his little buddy end up getting arrested for treason against the crown for saying that they were impersonating the prince. Um, and this is done basically against the will of any of the king and the prince because it's the Pyung-soo who want them arrested because they are a threat to them. So they end up getting thrown in jail, and basically told that they should be sentenced to death, and they get a message, I guess, from one of the eunuchs. I think they're eunuchs, the ones in the green.
Yeah.
So they get a message from one of the eunuchs
Oh no,
who's been poisoned.
that happened in the next episode.
I told you I've watched 4 episodes in a row. I don't know what happened in half of
Okay,
them.
sorry, that happened in the next episode.
And this is a 5, 6, 7, 8 anyway. So if you don't watch all 4, sorry. But basically, the big story in all of this is that these guys have they've been arrested for impersonating the prince, which is a crime that is punishable by death. So they're basically sentenced to death at this point.
Yeah. Basically. And also the prince is like locked in his room, even though he's sobbing, crying that he wants he wants the king to take back what's gonna happen, and he's sorry, he wants to talk to Deputy Han, and it's just breaking his heart. But while this is happening, the queen basically tells the consort that she wants the consort to basically help choose someone to marry the prince. And while this is happening, they meet up with Hagun, who wants to get married to the prince, and she's using her father to kind of get it going, because she tells her father, like, hey, if I get married to the prince and I become the queen, you're going to have more power than grandfather, so why not help me? But while they're trying to do that, the queen was like, listen, I heard that your grandfather doesn't want you to get married to the prince, so I can't go against him, because who goes against him?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, even the queen's like scared of him. I mean, obviously the queen knows who he is, but it basically tells you how feared this guy is. And then, which definitely makes Hagun really pissed off, because she wants to marry the prince. And I think it's just crazy. I think she's just crazy. She's cray.
He's cray.
Yeah, so while Deputy Han and Moon, I can never say his name, Muna is in the prison, the king came to him. And do you want to tell what the king basically said to Deputy Han, Sam?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm like 4 episodes. Like, my brain is just blah.
So,
I'm pretty sure he basically said that he was going to protect his daughter. Or am I way too far ahead on that one too?
no, so Deputy Han basically told
Okay, yeah.
him, like, will you protect my daughter for me? And also, the king said yes, but only in return will you make it so my son will have no regrets with you dying. Like, he didn't want Deputy Han to be begging for his life. He didn't want Deputy Han to make his son feel any more guilty. I think that says a lot about the king, where the king cares so much about his son that he doesn't want his son to be in pain. So he's saying, listen, I know you have to die, but this is the reasons why you're going to die. And if you don't die, then the prince's life will be in danger. And I think that Deputy Han was like, I understand that this is where my life took me, and I'm gladly to be killed because it's for the greater good. Which for me, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like, realistically, no one wants to die. So
Right.
I'm like, he has a daughter, but he like sets up so the king is like take care of her daughter and stuff like that. But
Well, so here's my issue, is that he's been arrested for treason for impersonating the prince, but I don't know, no one's really going to question the king, but like, what did he do? Like, what are they showing for their reasoning what he did to impersonate the prince? They have no real evidence.
I don't think
So they're just kind of going like, hey, he impersonated the prince, we're going to kill him. And then the king has every opportunity to get him out of jail. The prince has every opportunity, which, I mean, he does take the opportunities, I think it's episode 6, multiple times to get him out of jail, and he's just kind of like, nope, I'm going to die. Like,
yeah. Well,
I don't understand the motivation behind it.
I think with the king not getting him out, it's because he knows if he escaped, the someone would know that it was them. So it's safe to say that he
But
has
even
to
the
die.
prince has no, like, he has no allegiance to these people, and he's just trying to save Deputy Han, who's also the father of the girl that he's falling in love with.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand the motivation with Prince Son, and he got her to safety, and like everything he said he was going to do, he did, and all he had to do was get the father out, and the father was like, "No, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to die."
Well, I think it's, I don't know. I think for me, I totally agree with what you're saying, but I definitely think it's like maybe he's thinking about the bigger picture. But I do agree, it's kind of stupid. You should just escape when you can and get away with your daughter. But I guess you wouldn't really have a K drama if they did that. Um,
Mm.
but the episode basically ends with the prince crying in his room, basically saying like, how could he face Guyan again, and how can he live with Guyan, with like live with himself basically, and
Hmm.
it's really sad because like I'm used to like watching historical dramas where the prince it's like really cocky and
Hmm.
smiles, and this prince is just broken. He's sensitive. He cares about his people, and he just wants to believe in the good, and here they are breaking his heart.
Right. And also, I think he's grown up like going, "I'm the prince. I can make the world better. I'm the prince. I have the power." And then to realize how very little power your words and actions have, but how many consequences they have, that's frustrating. Like, he's supposed to be able to save people and he can't. And people are saying they're willing to die for him, and he doesn't want to, like, he doesn't want people to die for him. He just wants good in the world, and he just wants everybody to kind of be happy and flourish. But that's not the reality they're living in. And because he was so sheltered and not really trained to deal with this reality, like, it's all hitting him at once.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
exactly. But on to episode 6. So episode 6, um, so finally the prince is allowed to see Deputy Han. And he basically was like, Deputy Han, you're allowed to go, you're free. Like, opens the gate, is like, go, go, go. Deputy Han's
you're a
like,
free birdie.
Definitely, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna chill here until I die. Like, I'm good. But he's like, here, take this letter to Guyan. I can't leave. And the prince can't understand. The prince takes this whole thing wrong. Like, the Deputy Han's basically trying to tell him that he's okay to die. But the prince takes it
Mm-hmm.
as, you're being threatened. Guyan's being threatened. Let me take Guyan out of the equation and then come back and rescue you. And as he's running away, he screams out for one of his members, and Deputy Han finally realizes that that boy is actually the crown
Mm-hmm.
prince. So,
So, oh, and I was looking ahead. There's two Enoch scenes. I wasn't ahead because the first Enoch said that like the Deputy Han had to die by the hand of the prince,
no,
and or
yeah, I
and
guess.
then the second Enoch is his friend.
Yeah, I want to talk more in depth about that when we get to, because like
Okay.
seriously,
No, I
I
was
have
looking
a
ahead.
whole,
I'm like, I know I'm not ahead. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I knew there was an Enoch that showed up at least once.
yeah,
I was confused.
the Unchunk was the one that I thought, I just called him like the prince and missing, like the prince, like their number one prince that they're gonna cover up with their body switch with. Um, but so basically, Hagood and Daemok uh, are kind of arguing, but not really arguing because uh, 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 sorry, Daemok basically tells Hagood that she should not use her father, or should not use things to get what she wants. She should get it for her want, aka she should not use her father um, for what she wants and stuff like that. And she should get
Mm.
it on her own. And then she asks for Gon, aka the emo bodyguard, to be her personal bodyguard, which he agrees to. But later on, he tells Gon like, "Hey, listen, you're her bodyguard. You take care of her, but you report back to me."
Mm.
So not really a bodyguard. Do you want to talk about what happens to when him and Guyon, when he meets Guyon?
I don't. I'm trying to remember what was going on at that point.
Um, he basically goes to her. He tells her that she needs to leave.
Oh yeah. Oh, I almost think Gaten. I'm like, who's Gayen? Gaten. So he's like, you need to go. Like, you need to get away from here. And she's like, I think you're the prince's friend, so you need to like help save my father. Like, you can say something to change his mind. And he's kind of torn in between because it's like, I am the prince, but he can't say anything, even though everyone and their freaking brother knows he's the prince by this point, or pretty soon, because his face is freaking everywhere. But she basically is like, you can save my father, and he's like, I can save your father. I know I could save your father, but first I have to get you to safety. Here is a letter, which I don't know why she didn't read it right away and find out everything that's going on, but K-drama logic. Um, and he takes her, like, the guards go away, and she sees the horse and the royal person who's going to escort her to safety. And so I think for the sake of her father, she just kind of goes along with it and is like, okay, I will walk away because my dad will be saved, and you say my dad will be saved. And
Yeah,
he also doesn't want the father, the Deputy Han, nor the prince want her to see her father end up being beheaded eventually.
yeah, yeah. Um, which eventually she does see. um, so when sorry, when the prince finally goes back to see Deathly Han to be like, "You're free, blah blah, go," and Gaio's saved, and like I saved her, and like Deathly Han's like, "That's totally not why I met, kid." But he tells the prince, Deputy Han basically tells the prince to go, to let him go, and not to let him go, but just to for him to go and to let him stay here to kind of face his death. And he tells the prince that that the crown prince, must stay and fight against evil, and that Deputy Han also tells him that he feels that it was honored to fight among his side. Although, um, although for me, I don't know, I just didn't expect the father to die so soon. Did you? Not
Mm, not this soon. I knew he was going to die eventually, but because it kind of had him set up as one of the characters that would need to die, but I didn't expect it to be like
Yeah, me
this, like
either.
super early on. He's going to be dead.
Yeah. So like you said, Sam, the I like to call it Unjun. I don't know the correct. I'm also sick, so please excuse me. Basically comes and delivers a message, like Sam said, and it's his friend. And one of the things is now he has to behead Deputy Han in front of everyone, and his friend passes out. And I was like, "No, you're my favorite. I've only seen you in 3 scenes, but you're my favorite.
I thought he
Don't
was
die."
poisoned.
He was poisoned. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and then he like was like foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, and then later on, when they're in his room, and he like Unchun's like, he's like, I haven't been able to see your face before, and like, and then he takes off the mask, and he's like, oh, I get. He's like, you are truly handsome, my prince, and like he
He's like, I
dies.
know, right? Like he's
Yeah,
trying to be like cocky and funny while his friend is dying. I'm like,
yeah.
are you
And then
kidding
like
me?
my heart broke at that scene. I cried
Yeah.
so hard at that scene because, although we didn't get tons of scenes with that character itself,
Mm.
I love like that whole scene like broke my heart. But I would have liked it more if there was like a flashback scene, maybe in the first episode, where it was like the bodyguard, the prince, and that Unshun all together as kids.
Mm.
So that would make kind of sense why he was so upset. Uh, Obviously he's upset because that's his friend and he's close to him, and that was his probably main person that took care of him. But I
Mm.
wanted more I wanted more emotionally deep reason why he was crying, if that makes any sense.
Well, I think also too, like this is another person who's had to die because of him.
Yeah.
And I think part of the emotion there was that like all these people are dying around me and it's my fault. And like he repeats this multiple times. He's like, it's my fault that you're dead. It's my fault that Deputy Han's in jail. It's my fault that Peasant Son's father was killed. Like, it's my fault. And so this is just one more thing on top of another thing that's just destroying him. And he has no power over it. And, like,
Yeah, it's
that
frustrating.
helplessness is just ruining. Now, can we talk about the fact that he's now taken off his mask? The Hwagun, her little bodyguard person, the um, prince son, his bodyguard person, and the eunuch all have now seen the prince's face. The king
Yeah.
comes walking in. He has no mask on. The king's like, Merp. Like
Well,
no reaction to it after he's freaked out for 4 episodes
well,
about people seeing his
I also
face.
think the fact that bodyguard, his friend, they trust him enough
Yeah.
to go out and find him without his mask on. And then Gon and her Haijun, they weren't really seen, and then the
Yeah.
Unchip was already dead. So it's like the king is like, well, It's only one person, so
Yeah. But
um,
no, like so many people are seeing his face one after another.
yeah.
So the whole ruler of the mask thing, like if the mask is covering your face, no one will know what you look like except everybody knows what he
But
looks like.
I don't necessarily feel like people know what he looks like and know who he is, because although Gon and Hyjin is a different story because they obviously spied on him, but like they may know him, but they don't know who he is, except
Hmm.
Pleasant's son, and there was a reason why they did that, obviously. Um, but
I just think too many people have seen his face.
yeah, but so it was like I just want you to be like Count Monte, or was no,
Phantom
uh,
of the Opera.
yes, or the Man with the Iron Mask.
Yeah.
You want to be like that. But okay, so Haigun is another scene of craziness because after she witnesses death, she basically tells Gun, to not tell anyone about the prince, because if the prince gets hurt, then her heart will break. If the prince is stabbed, then her heart will be stabbed, and if the prince dies, that she will die.
You know what? Those are grounds for a restraining order.
Yeah, she's a psycho. Like, what? When I saw that part, I was like, you're a
I'm
psychopath.
like, I think you're a little melodramatic at
And
this
like,
point, woman.
she like tells the god, she's like, you need to protect the prince. Like, you protect me. I'm like, dude, last episode or last two episodes, whatever, he was like trying to kill the prince. So what are you talking about?
Right?
Um,
So, Gaten ends up reading the letter, and she puts together pretty darn quickly what's about to happen. And so she ends up getting on her horse and booking her butt back to the palace because she's going to go and try and save her father. And I think at this point, too, they have also talked about. Um, I can't remember if that this was at the point that they were like, the prince isn't going to behead um,
well, yeah. Well,
Deputy Han. Someone else is going to take his
well,
place.
what basically happened though was that the prince and the king were talking,
Mm-hmm.
and the prince is crying because he's so broken over it. Like, his friend just died, he has to
Mm-hmm.
behead this guy he just looked up to, and the king is still like, you still have to kill Deputy Han, but the prince tells him like, I don't want to do it. Like, how can he sacrifice someone for himself? And he even goes as far as he's like, let them just take me, let them just take me. And his father's like, stop being flipping crazy, like you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the prince snaps that he'll never like he never wanted to be the prince. He never wanted to wear that mask. And how dare
Mm-hmm.
his father create this organization or create this water bureau because of him? And it basically leads to him passing out and the bodyguard being there, and the bodyguard being like he will behead him. And so,
Mm-hmm.
again, the bodyguard took the place. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so basically, while this is happening, I gone or gone. Sorry, I can't think. Why? While Guyun is going to go riding her horse, getting there for her father's execution. Um, the prince's son wakes up in this room by
Mm-hmm.
himself, and he's like, let me out, and suddenly, who comes to his door?
Psychopath.
Yeah, psychopath Hyjin, and she basically is like, do you need a way out? Do you need a horse? I'll ride with you. And I was like,
I have a horse. Let's go ride together because you're gonna owe me a favor later on, and don't forget my name. Like, if she would be that crazy girl that you'd give your phone number to, and she would text you
yes,
non freaking stop, going like,
yes,
"Do you remember me? Do you know who I am? Why aren't we gonna hang out? Like, let's go hang out. Like, let's go on a date. You need to be my boyfriend." Blah 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 blah. But we're talking Joseon
yes,
Dynasty, so she offers a horse.
yes. She offers a horse, and which leads to episode 7. So episode 7, I actually thought that Deputy Han had already died with the way that episode 6 ended, but they kind of backtracked it a little bit, um, to show that that the bodyguard was actually struggling to take Deputy Han's life, and Deputy Han basically tells him that, like, you know what, your life will be changed for the moment you kill me, and I understand that, but please try to bear with it, and like basically telling him to be like it's okay that he's gonna kill him in a way, which I think was nice for him to say. And also I think it's really nice to show that his bodyguard has a heart, that the prince's bodyguard is able to like he's struggling with it. It's not like a bad guy. It's not like so he's killing someone to protect the prince. He's killing someone because of this Nazi organization. Surprisingly enough, we find out later in this episode that Wu Bu and Daemonk actually know each other before this whole thing went down.
Yeah.
Which surprised me. I was like, oh my god, like, what?
I can't say I was like shocked, but I wasn't like 100% shocked. I was kind of like, oh, hey, this like the connections are starting to be made a little bit as to like how
Yeah.
everybody plays together.
Yeah, so basically Daemonk went to Wubu, and I'm thinking that Wubu was like a professor or something like that.
Mm.
I'm guessing. I'm
Well,
not
he
really
was the
quite sure.
teacher to the prince, and so that would lead me to believe that he's a scholar to begin
Yeah.
with.
So he basically asked us for help. And Wubu was kind of like a jerk in a way. I would say a jerk. And he
Hmm.
basically tells instead of acting like a act like a master instead of a dog.
Hmm.
And basically, obviously, Daemon took Wubu's uh, advice completely wrong
Yeah, he
because
took it a little like he went a little crazy with
yeah,
the
he went
advice.
like instead of like acting like the master, he decided to act like Lord Voldemort. So he like went a little crazy. Um, but while this is happening, the prince, we go back to where the beheading happened. Everyone's like cleared out, and the prince is still crying. And Wu goes over and he tells Wu like he wants to defeat Pusawan. He wants to destroy them, and he asks for help. And while this is happening, psycho crazy person Hi is listening to this whole conversation, which might be kind of awkward since her grandfather is like the head of the organization.
Hmm. So the by this point, the father's deputy Han is now dead. His head's been chopped off. Poor guy. It gives me Game of Thrones flashbacks. And so Prince's son ends up feeling bad, and he goes to Gun's house because she's passed out from just the sheer shock of everything that's kind of going on. And she begs for an audience with the prince because she wants to know why her father, following his orders, got him killed essentially. Like he did nothing wrong, and she
Yeah.
knows he did nothing wrong. And so what caused him to end up ultimately dying? And you can see it's kind of hurting Prince's son that he wants to like basically scream at her like I'm the prince and I'm not the one who killed your father. Like it wasn't me, and I don't know what's going on. Like everything's kind of hitting the fan all at once.
Yeah. Um, and he also goes to talk to Peasant Son. He basically breaks down to Peasant Son because Peasant Son knows the truth. Peasant Son knows that he is the prince. And
Hmm.
so he tells Peasant Son that it's his fault that Gaian's father died. And, but, Peasant Son basically tells the prince, like, if there's anything you need him to do, that he'll do it. And then
Hmm.
the prince kind of thinks back to what Wubu had told him before about looking at things at a different angle, and he basically the asks his peasant son to be his stand-in,
Hmm.
and which leads to him taking him back to the palace, and basically the king not trusting peasant son because he's like, why would anyone take up this risky position, knowing that you could possibly die
Hmm.
so fast. So of course he thinks maybe he's a spy, and he not tortures him, but throws water on him. And
Waterboards him.
yeah, and by the way, you guys, I just want to let you know because I am a hardcore in spirit. Mung Soo, who actually plays Peasant Son, got really sick after that scene of him getting water thrown on him, and he actually got rushed to like the hospital. So that I hated watching. I like at first when I watched the scene, I was like, oh my goodness, like, um, that's like really cool. I was like, sorry, I'm sorry. Someone's Skype calling me right now. Stop Skype calling me.
Hmm.
Ringing. It won't let me hang up. It's okay, whatever. I'm
So he
trying
ends
to
up getting like waterboarded and everything, and like
Oh.
the king's like, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why do you want to do this? It essentially ends up getting broken down to the point that he's like, I'm starving. Like, my family's starving. I'm starving. This is a way for my family to be put into not necessarily a better position, but have better fortune and food. And so this is why I'm doing this, because my starvation is like so bad.
Yeah, and what I was trying to say before I got interrupted by that Skype call, sorry guys, was the fact that like watching that scene, I was like, oh, it's cool, like whatever, like keep one foot on him. I'm like, I'm proud amongst him. I'm so showing that he's a really good actor. But after I found out that he was in the hospital afterwards, I was like, I can't watch this scene anymore. I actually skipped through it when I was watching this episode again. I actually skipped through that part because I couldn't watch it.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you're right. He did say that that he's starving and that that's a reason why he wants to be the prince. But the prince goes to meet his father outside, and he tells us that he wants to meet 2 people before he goes into hiding. But the king won't allow it, and he tells the prince like, you can only go when it rains, and then it rains.
Right. Like immediately, I'm like, there wasn't a cloud in the sky, but now we're gonna have a torrential downpour because meteorology doesn't exist.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, you're a badass. Like, it's like completely like, it's like, it really bit you in the butt a little bit, the king, because I was like, okay, here he is, like, not when like cats and dogs raid and the cats and dog rains down or something like that. So it's like really bit you in the butt, dude. But so he goes, and unexpectedly, I didn't expect this, but he goes and he meets with Daemon and
Yeah.
Pusewong, and they're having like this dinner celebration there because the prince is going to be brought into them and they're going to become their puppet and all laughing about it because the prince, according to them, the prince is depressed and won't leave his room and crying and he's an easy target. And all of a sudden the prince walks in like a boss with his bodyguard and he's like, hey, I'm here. And I was just like, what? Okay, awesome. And I like the fact that the Pusewong had to look at to Daemon first before they bowed to the prince. So they're like, this is so awkward. Who do we bow to first? Like,
Right.
what do we do?
But that also like feeds into my like not necessarily theory, but like hierarchy deal of he is the king. Like the king is not the king, he is the king, but the prince is the prince, and formalities. And they actually go through a whole kind of thing about formalities, and like the prince is like, if formalities exist, you would be kneeling outside right now. So like just sit down and let's talk.
And then he gives him the prince asks him, oh, can I ask you for some advice? And Damon's like, what? You should, ask a wise man for some advice. And, because he's too old to be giving advice. But then he tells him to pick a wise man who will allow him to, like, ascend to the throne peacefully. And, of course, the prince is like, don't worry, I will. Like, he's so cocky. I love it. But he also gives Damon a flower.
Mhm.
Do you want to talk about the flower that he
So
gives him?
he like the flower doesn't really represent anything more than a flower. Like I was like waiting for him to say this flower represents this, but the flower is actually a metaphor for what's going to be happening because just prior to this, the Daemon had been told that the prince was cowardly and that he was going to be suffering from depression and that he basically wasn't going to be a force to be reckoned with. And then he comes in like a badass and he's like, "Here is my plan. Let me explain something to you." And that year, he had taken all these plants and he brought them into the greenhouse. And the first year, the stems came up, the flower wouldn't bloom. And he thought it was because they had changed places, and that's why it wouldn't happen. So the next year, the flower stem came up, but the flower wouldn't bloom, and it was frustrating because now, like, the flower was used to its home, so why wouldn't it bloom? And he ends up talking to someone at the palace, and they explain that they have to go through the cold before they will bloom again. And it's kind of a metaphor for going through hardships before you will become like what you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so basically, the prince is like, I've moved places and I haven't bloomed. I've been in the same spot and I haven't bloomed. So here is my hardship, and like I'm going to become who I'm supposed to be. I'm going to become this flower that's supposed to bloom and become everything that I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, and after when he left the flower, and he's like, okay, I'm leaving bye. I was like, I didn't want to get the metaphor, but like I literally was like, shit is gonna go down because of a flower. But like basically, Daemon's pretty much like, okay, the prince basically just declared war,
Mhm.
and that was the end of episode 7. So, episode 6,
8.
or 8. Sorry, you guys, I'm crazy. Episode 8, Diane and the prince are saying goodbye, and the prince gives her a moon necklace, and saying that he will always be with her. And I'm just like, aren't we rushing a little bit into this love story?
Right?
What do you think, Sam?
I'm like, let's think about this in the way they're supposed to. We're 4 episodes in at this point, ish, right? So we're episodes 7 and 8. So yeah, so we're episode quote unquote 4. How did the relationship end up blooming that fast? Like I could see like a friendship blossoming that quickly because we see son and son like freaking bestest buddies in the whole wide world.
After one day,
Like he fell in love with her like day one, and like that's not love, that's lust. And then like I know he's trying to make her feel better and like saying like your father's always going to be with you, and just as the sun and the moon aren't supposed to be in the same spot, like we can clearly see the sun and the moon are in the same spot.
Yeah.
But like the kiss on the forehead, I was like, just keep it as sentimental. Here's the necklace, blah blah blah. Like, here's my friendship I am giving to you. Like, let's not put romanticism on it that fast.
Exactly. And also, like, he also tells her, like, that he promised that they'll meet again, and that right now he's gonna go away and keep his promise with her father. But why could it be instead of romance, like you just said? Why can't it be about friendship? Or why can't it be about him feeling responsible for her, and not that the whole like I love you already, you're my girlfriend? Because I'm just like I don't buy into that. I hate when dramas do that. I hate it when K-dramas do that. Don't rush a love. You have like 20 episodes. You can do it. You can do a love story in 20 episodes. That does not feel rushed. But later on, Diane actually finds a letter in her father's robes. And it's a letter that the crown prince, or prince son, wrote to her father and to the soldier to investigate this water source, which totally went against with what the prince said. So she's so confused, like, well, the prince just lied. My father doesn't lie. So what does she do? She takes her father's sword and she goes to the palace.
She goes on Mulan, basically.
Yeah, and she's like, oh shit, well, she's gonna kill someone. No, she's not gonna kill someone. She goes to kill a flagpole.
I think she was just trying to make a point.
And I'm just like, are you kidding me? And I love that she gets locked up. And they're like, and the prince is like, are you kidding me? I just sent you off and now you're locked up. But,
this is not the plan.
No, but also, do you not think it was adorable how the prince was teaching peasant son how to be like him?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cute.
I'm like, oh, his little puppy, and he's like training it and stuff. Like, that's how I felt. No, you do this, not that, whatever.
Yeah, I like how the prince just like he literally just wants to be friends with his son. Like he just
Right.
he's like I like you, you're gonna be my friend. Even though in episode 2 they're beating each other up, or episode 3.
This is how friends are created. Like you get like mad at each other, and then you're like.
So yeah, we did not beat each other up.
So sometimes friendships don't start out on like the best of terms. Of like, hey, Mrs. Buddy. Like sometimes you get forced into situations, and then you're like, friend.
Yes. So the king back to drama. The king basically tells fake son, aka peasant son, that he's going to replace the prince tonight, unknown to the prince. So the prince doesn't know that fake son's gonna get brought into Pusawong that night. So I feel like if he did know, the prince would be way more stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Peasant Son goes to a costume party with the bad guys. Which I'm just saying, like everyone's wearing these weird masks, and he's wearing his mask, and I'm like, okay, you guys, like, enough with the costume party. Like, why do you have to wear all these masks?
Right.
Um,
And you
but
know what? So the king ends up coming up with like this like plan to send the fake prince in, and at the same time, we're now gonna kill the Pyong Soo Hui, which fails
yeah,
disastrously.
completely fails.
But
Like
let
they,
me just say, the king shot himself in the foot.
yes,
If he had just let Present Son go through this, I think the way they had it set up, he would have survived through this. He would have gone through the initiation, and the real prince would have been fine.
yes,
Eh, He sent in the cavalry. He caused this. This is his fault.
it is his fault because basically, yeah, because they basically set people in, which is stupid. Because why wouldn't you not check your surroundings? And everyone knows it's the worst position to go uphill when
Mm-hmm.
attacking. Like you have ninjas, or you should have ninjas. Why don't you send the ninjas in, like all secretive, and then kill people? But no. Or why would you not? Since they're all wearing masks, why don't you take some of them out that you know work for them, and take their masks and go in?
Why are you wearing bright red and lit up when you're trying to have a sneak attack?
Exactly. They're all idiots. But the Daemonk actually believes that Sun is the prince.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, like
What kind
completely.
of?
Well, kind of, because Gon tells him that yes, that's the prince. He lied because, which surprised me because I thought that he wouldn't lie, but he lies and says like, yes, this is the prince. This is, well, he didn't really lie. He basically was like, this is a man I found with the crest, so he
Mm-hmm.
really didn't lie. And then they take the tea, the truth telling tea, and he goes, "What's your name? What's your name?" Of course, he's gonna say his name is Lee's son, and he even goes as far as breaking the truth serum to basically say like he's the crown prince. So
Mm-hmm.
I think he has so much will to let his family live, to let his family not starve, that he was going to tell the truth, not tell the truth, but that he was able to lie and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So while this is happening, Guyan is left out, or she basically gets let out of jail, and she goes to
Mm-hmm.
meet with the consort. And while the consort is talking to Guyan, she finds out that the palace is being overrun by Pusawang,
Mm-hmm.
and the court consort basically is poisoned by this poison. We don't know by who, and she tells Guyan basically the truth in some ways.
And she tells her to go find this like pot in the greenhouse. It's very like Yoda-ish.
Yeah.
And so, but we're not going to probably find out until later on what's in that pot.
What's
But,
in the pot? Yeah.
and she says to go find someone, like the, Chun Soon, something like that.
I think
Yeah,
it's
Chun Su. Um, she says to deliver it to Chun Su.
his
And I don't,
bodyguard.
which is his bodyguard, but she doesn't know that when she hears Chun Su, which is the name that the prince also gave her as his name, she's thinking of him. So this is going to be like misinformation everywhere kind of
Yeah,
deal. Because she's like,
exactly.
give it to Chun Su. Chun Su's supposed to be the bodyguard. She's like, Chun Su, the scholar, who's actually the prince. And so this is a lot of names of the same people. Things are going to get very confusing very fast.
Exactly. And then, so the king wants to stop the prince from coming home, but of course the prince comes home anyways. And when he comes home, he sees that his father is in a huge battle against against the Pusawan, and Daemonks, of course, is there. And so as they're fighting, the king dies. The king gets stabbed, and he dies. And of course, oh, this is so frustrating. The prince screams out, "Father!" And they're like,
Right,
"This
you
is the crown
idiot.
prince." And I'm like, what the fudge? Like, you gave up your identity in 2.5 seconds.
I
2.5
know!
seconds. I was so pissed because I was like, your father waited, I don't know how old this guy is, maybe 17 years or 18 years, waited all these years to not give up who you are. And you gave it
Mm.
up to the one person that he did not want to know.
Oh my god, I'm just frustrated because we're only 8 episodes into 40 episodes. Like,
What's gonna happen next?
Yes.
Who knows? The prince is probably just gonna walk into the dude's sword because everybody keeps friggin' shooting themselves in the foot left and right.
Yes. I don't know. Did you have any favorite parts of the show though so far?
No, because I keep looking at like the dumbassery that's all happening all around me.
He was like, I'm done with this drama.
I did, and that's right. Okay, let me read what I was texting to you because like I was texting you as I was finishing episodes, and hold on, wait a minute. Um, only 8 episodes in and I'm done with this drama. What the fuck?
Yep.
I'm like, the dad, which I was talking about, Deputy Han. I'm like, Deputy Han is being killed for the same thing that the person who's about to kill him is doing. Logic.
Yep. That makes sense.
I'm like, what is with this trauma? And I understand that they're trying to show, like, I guess, I don't know how to explain it, that sometimes bad things happen to good people, bad things happen to people with good intentions, that sometimes the bad guy is going to win certain things. But at the same time, like, the king could have just let Lee Sun, the peasant, go through what he was going to go through, and then let Prince Sun do what he was supposed to do, and
Yeah.
then leave it at that, and let the peasant son live in the palace for a little while, protect his mother and the sister. Like, there's so many other ways this could have gone, and I don't understand the writer's motive behind the way they're writing this drama, because everybody is making stupid mistakes. So, and I'm just kind of frustrated with it, and like, I kind of understand Gaun's kind of reasoning why she was going after the prince because I think she's the only one who is truly emotionally motivated for doing what she's doing. Because I would probably freak out too if like my dad was just killed for no reason.
Yeah.
But she's the only one who's not really being stupid. And actually, Lee Sun too. Lee Sun's the prince or not the prince. Lee Sun the peasant. Um, his motives make sense too because he wants to protect his family and everything. And I know he'd overheard Wubo talking about how they needed another Lee Sun. I don't know why he didn't speak up then,
Maybe because he
but
was scared because like when they were mentioning it, it was the king walking by and he was like in a corner
mm,
being cute. I mean, I don't mean being cute. Okay, he's cute. Um, but I don't know. Like, so this job is okay, but after episode 8, I haven't watched any of the other episodes, which we're going to obviously. But like, I don't know. I just kind of like. I was just like, it was really good in the beginning, but now it's just like there's stupid stuff going on, like you were saying, and you're just like, why? It's really frustrating.
hmm
I guess like they have to add some sort of tragedy to happen, but for me, it's like, why make it stupid?
but the tragedy could have been her father dying, or the tragedy could have been the prince never living to begin with, or I don't know, like, or the tragedy could have been the peasant Lee's son was found faster and he ends up dying during the initiation. Like, it's way too much
Oh,
tragedy at once.
so now that sorry, reaching over my desk. So now that we're all caught up to where I took my notes from, I
hmm
have theories. Can I read off my theories since we're
Go
all
ahead.
caught up? So I wrote these theories when I watched episode 1. Um, Obviously we didn't film this video right after watching episode 1 to 4. So we're a little late. But I did write down some theories I have. Some of my theories I have is Monks' character, which is peasant son, is going to become the prince, but he's going to get like a little power hungry, which is going to cause some issues.
hmm
Um, the prince son and peasant son are going to fight for power or fight over what's right to do. Like there's going to be some conflict over like where peasant son thinks that the kingdom should be ruled this way and prince son thinks the kingdom should be ruled the other way. I do think that that peasant son is going to sacrifice himself for the prince, either when the
hmm
bad guys try to get him to join them, which obviously he already did, or he's going to get poisoned by them, or he's going to take a sword or something. He's going to like sacrifice himself for him and to like redeem their friendship or something like that.
hmm
Um, and I think that will make up all this fighting when they while he's dying. And the last thing I said is I think the king's gonna die. And I was like, he died.
So my theories would have to be all the way up to episode 8 because I did nothing for episodes 1 through 4. So I think the Pyong-Soo-Hui is now going to take over complete power at this point. The king is dead. The consort is dead. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to take the prince hostage. But somebody who is loyal to the prince is going to let him out. And then the prince is going to have to turn around and start building an army from like his inside out to start fighting for the Pyong-Soo-Hui, which I think like that's the best way to go with this at the point that we are, is kind of an underdog story at this point, with like the Three Musketeers trying to like fight their way back into reclaim Prince Sun's birthright. So I see this as like a power struggle kind of deal. Like the king is dead, so Daemok is going to be taking over the kingdom, quote unquote. Even though he already runs it, and the prince is now going to have to fight to get his power and birthright back.
Yeah, that'd be more interesting. I hope it gets interesting. We'll see what else is gonna happen in the future. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this discussion video. Sorry that I'm half dead. I hope that my voice isn't too annoying. I promise I'll get better tomorrow. I'm gonna eat a lot of ice cream and try to rest. But thank you for watching this discussion video, and we will see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, what's up? We hope you enjoyed that discussion video because we enjoyed making it. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. If you liked it, you hit that like button. We make videos every Tuesday and Sunday, and we will see you soon.